Welcome to lecture series on NCC subjects. This is lecture number 34 and today's topic is customs and traditions of India. Honorable Commanding Officer, respected Associate NCC officers, respected permanent instructors, dear cadets and students. Unity in diversity is one of the appropriate sayings about the great culture, tradition and customs of India, the largest democracy of the world. Unity in diversity. And when we think about the customs and traditions of India, this particular saying, unity in diversity, has a lot of meaning because India is a multiracial, multilingual civilization with rich cultural heritage and has provided peaceful atmosphere for the development of many religions. Yes, India is multiracial, and in the previous lecture we saw some of the important races which came to India and settled in India and the characteristics of which we can trace even today. And as we know, we have of course numerous languages in our country, official and non-official. And from all this we can understand that our country, Great India, is upholding principles of tolerance. We are welcoming, accepting, assimilating and respecting any race, any language and of course customs and traditions. This is the reason why, because we are being multiracial, because we are being multilingual, because we have of course numerous religions and castes and creeds, we have unity in diversity, different customs and traditions. And today we look at some of the Indian customs and traditions. Okay, so all these customs and traditions of India is making unique culture for this largest country. Indian culture and customs are influenced by all the many religions we have in our country. So religions, as we all know, we have seen in the previous lecture that we have Hinduism here, we have Islam here, Christianity, Buddhism, Jainism, Zoroastrianism, and of course almost all the religions of the world we have in our country, and people believe in these religions, and we are always upholding secularism. Any individual can believe in, any citizen can, right? Any citizen of India can believe, preach, practice the religion he or she likes. That is one of the important facts we have to remember. And this is the reason why we say we have different cultures here. We have to understand the fact that all these customs and traditions of India come from different languages, different religions and different rituals and all. So the customs of India depict very colorful panorama. Okay, we have of course something like we have of course right, it's so beautiful when we think of Indian culture. It is just like a kaleidoscopic view, different observations, different celebrations, different a number of festivals we have. So many festivals, and every religion, every language and every culture has it, right? We observe of course, the Hindi Day. We observe of course, the right Kerala Piravi, or of course the birth of Kerala, or other, of course, the birth of the Malayalam language, right? So we can say that the customs of India are influenced by many languages and religions. And of course, there are certain customs which are prevalent in a particular religion, and some are common to all religions of the country. We have so many cultures, and we know that, of course, right, maybe all right, all these religions have common right celebrations, right, or rather some of these religions have their own celebrations and festivals, but okay, it is celebrated all over the country. And every Indian, no matter what, when we think of Diwali, right, no matter whether you are a Hindu, or whether you are, of course, a Christian, whether you are a Jain, or whether you believe in Buddhism, okay, or whether you are a Sikh, you join in this celebration. This is the celebration of India. And hence we can say that we have a colorful panoramic view of the customs and traditions of our country. That is, of course, the greatest democracy of the world, India. Now let's just look at some of the festivals, right? India has a number of national festivals, and Indian festivals are famous in the world. And you know, everybody knows the fact there are people from different parts of the world, especially tourists from different parts of the world, come to India during the occasion of certain specific celebrations, because they have heard about such celebrations. They just want to witness what's happening during such celebration. And we have to understand the fact that Indian festivals are very, very well known. They are famous everywhere in the world. And most of the festivals of India are related to the changing weather, climatic changes, or rather we better say the seasonal changes, right? Okay, we have different seasons in our country, and almost all the celebrations of our country, right, to a certain extent are dependent on changing seasons and crop harvesting. Okay, and we know that ours is, of course, an agrarian country. Our country is based on agriculture, and like in maybe, of course, the Western civilization, okay, when you think of Greek culture, Greek civilization, or Roman civilization, or even right any other civilizations of the West or any part of the world, you can see that agriculture and different seasons have a lot to do with the kind of festivals and celebrations, right? When we learn about different art forms like drama, or even like, of course, the kind of other performances, we know that each of the performance have to do something with the religions, or the changing seasons, or crop harvesting. When you think of drama, it is very obvious. We know that in Greece, of course, especially in ancient Greece, they used to, of course, worship the goddess of fertility. That is, of course, Dionysus god. And of course, they just stand around the statue of Dionysus god, and they sing and dance, and of course utter dialogues. And from that practice of singing and dancing around the goddess of festive, that is the right, fertility, we have the rising of Greek drama. Similarly, of course, when we think of the kind of dances, different dance forms in India, like, of course, we have Kathak, we have of course Mohiniyattam, we have Bharatanatyam, all right, different Oppana again we have, right, and different types of, right, all this is associated with the celebration or observation of agricultural celebrations, or other seasonal festivals. And now some of the most famous Indian festivals are Okay, as we know, Diwali. Diwali is, of course, the festival of lights. And we just celebrate it. Everybody is celebrating it. It is not just meant for any particular religious group, right? Everybody is celebrating Diwali. Another is, of course, right, Dussehra, another very important festival of India, Dussehra. Okay, yet another one is Basant Panchami, Basant Panchami. Okay, it is again a wonderful celebration of India with so much of rituals and customs and different types of modes of celebration. Okay, so the leading, or rather the most important festivals are Diwali, Dussehra, and of course Basant Panchami. And we know that there are certain festivals which are just prevalent in particular regions. Okay, like in Assam we have the festival called Bihu, and of course in Punjab we have the festival which is of course Baisagi, and in Kerala of course we have Onam. And similarly, we have different states and different regions have different celebrations, and we have to understand the fact that people from Assam, they just move to other parts of the country or other parts of the world and they celebrate Bihu. People from Kerala just go to, of course, other part of the world. They go to Gujarat, they go to Delhi, they go to, of course, the northeast. They stay there, and they know that this is, of course, the time of the celebration of Onam, and they celebrate it where they are. And as they are celebrating Onam in London or in Johannesburg or in New York or Washington or in Lucknow, this celebration is becoming the celebration of the people who are joining this celebration. And we can say that this is the kind of custom, this is the kind of festival of India. Indian festival is becoming global festivals, right? So we must be, each Indian must be aware of the customs and traditions of India. Especially we in NCC, we are proud of the great cultural heritage, the customs, the religions, the traditions of India, and we must be sure about all these national festivals and religious celebrations, and we must just understand and uphold the fact that we are secular and we respect every religious festivals as well as all the festivals of the country. And wherever we are, the very festival time, in Chingam, or of course, certain festivals come in certain months, So wish you, of course, month and date we have, for each and every celebration or festival. So those days and those months and those weeks of the celebration or festival of our country, we have to observe it wherever we are, Zurich, France, Paris, or whether it is Johannesburg or Dublin, wherever we are Indians. We are celebrating the great culture, custom, and festival and traditions of India. Now we will just look at some of the customs and traditions of India. Of course, now that we have a multiracial, multilingual population in our country, we have different customs, and we understand that Indian customs are various types, mostly related to local customs, We have local customs, People in a particular area, they have their own dialect, they have their own lifestyle, and of course they have their own customs. And we can say that Indian customs are different types like local customs, caste customs, Again, based on the caste, Indian society, in the earlier was very, very caste based, we have of course the Brahmins, we have of course the Vaishyas, the Shudras, so we have the caste based social setup, right? And we can understand that each and every caste has their own custom, right? So we have local customs, caste customs, and of course family customs, right? Every family, okay, each and every family has its own custom. When there is a birth, they have their own kind of rituals and customs and celebrations, right? Similarly, when there is a marriage, when there is, of course, the beginning of schooling, when there is the beginning of, maybe a job, you go for a job, you get married. Marriage is again, right, a big event in the life of any individual. And in certain families, there are a number of customs related to this kind of events in the life of a person, like birth, education, professional entry, similarly marriage, okay, birth of a child again, right, then again death is again, right. There are a lot of customs, and these customs, as we said right now, can be based on local customs, caste customs, and family customs, and there are different customs of Hindu marriage, right? So we have, of course, right, maybe we know that the majority of the people in the country believe in Hinduism, and from region to region, from North Indian Hindu community to the South Indian, or the southeast, southwest, the west and the east, right? Different parts of the country, right? There are different customs associated with the very Hindu marriage custom. The Hindus in Kerala could be having a peculiar kind of custom for marriage celebration, but the Hindus in Northeast could be having yet another kind of, right. There could be some common elements. There could also be unique and different kind of customs for Hindu marriage in different parts of the country. So we can say that there are different customs of Hindu marriage as compared to Muslim marriage, right? Okay, so Hindu marriage is different from the Muslim marriages, but certain common elements sometimes we can find. And similarly, of course, we have different customs in the marriage of Sikh people, Christian community, and of course you will see that there are certain similarities. There is giving and taking, right? So Christians accepting certain customs of the Hindu marriage, right? Similarly, the Muslim people, Muslims accepting some of the customs of the Christian community. And now it's very, very visible, because we don't have so much of barriers among the people, right, no matter what religion they believe in. Because if you look at the dress today, you can see that today, look at marriage festivals, marriage receptions, you can see, okay, we have a common pattern of dress code, right? Maybe we have different receptions, right? Reception, of course, on the very marriage day. So that very reception on the very marriage day could be, right, they would be wearing the conventional Muslim marriage dress, right? The conventional Hindu marriage dress, the conventional Christian marriage dress, but other reception for maybe a common reception organized for the friends and family and the people associated with those people getting married, a public function, right? And in that public function, they could be just coming in a different dress code, which is of course accepted all over the country or all over the world. So we can say that we have different kinds of customs related to marriage: Hindu marriage, Sikh marriage, Muslim marriage, Christian marriage. Okay, number of customs related to that. Similarly, we understand that there are different customs of festival celebrations, right? Okay, so we have Christmas celebrations, right? Christmas celebrations, and from community to community, of course, from different locations to locations, right? Christmas celebrations also. Of course, we have a common celebration, but besides that, there could be some difference in the celebration aspect. So we understand that the country, the Constitution of India is protecting all these rituals, customs, festivals, okay, So we are secular, and anyone can practice any religion, any festival, any custom, use any language, and the government is of course funding institutes for just preserving each and every language and culture, and of course certain characteristics of races, racial. Okay, so this is again very very unique about India, like in of course many other countries, right? And now we understand that certain religious customs pertain to a particular religion only, like we have certain ceremonies like the Mundan ceremony in the Hindus, and the naming ceremony in Sikhs, right? These are all very important functions in the religious categories, right? And these customs have religious value and significance, and it is of course these are occasions of celebrations or entertainment as well. So people just gather, everybody comes to the house where there is of course a naming ceremony going on before, maybe days before the naming ceremony, days before the marriage, days before the Mundan ceremony, and many other ceremonies of different religious groups. People come, families come, they just join, and a lot of entertainment activities, singing, dancing, just sharing sweets and all we have, right? And now we just move forward and we discuss another area in which we find that there are different customs regarding dresses. We have different dresses and of course ornaments. And okay, these dresses and ornaments also is part of the customs and traditions of India. When we think of a traditional Malayali or a conventional Kerala person, okay, there is of course the kind of unique dress code and of course unique jewelry, the Kerala dhoti, and of course the Kerala dress, of course the Kerala sari, everything is famous, right? Similarly, every state and every locality has its own dresses and ornaments. Okay, Muslim people of course they have their own ornaments, especially the ladies in the Muslim community or religious group have their own jewelry. Similarly, the Christians of course, right, they have their own jewelry, and of course Hindus have their own jewelry, and this is very important. So some customs regarding dresses and ornaments of women come from the very religious background and of course the racial background, and these are associated with locality, religion, of course the very language and culture. Okay, and we know that the government is just trying to preserve and protect the distinctive customs and habits, and of course the dress code, and of course the kind of jewelry or ornaments of the different groups of people. The government is always giving freedom for people to use the dress and ornament they like. And now India, being a big country with different races and religions, has of course a number of rituals and customs related to festivals, religious ceremonies, dresses, marriages, architecture, painting, song, dance, and food habits. Because India has a number of race here, people believing different languages here, and because of all this reason we have so many festivals, so many ceremonies, so many kinds of songs, different types of dances, and of course even food habits. Okay, the food we get in a particular part of, in the northeast of course different from the food we get in northeast and northwest, and of course the west and the east and the south. Food is different. Okay, and now we have to understand another fact that because of travel, we have people traveling for jobs, for of course education, for of course tourism. People are traveling far and wide. And because of the movement, because of the traveling, and because of mixing and mingling, we understand that, okay, all these very, very unique festival, food habit, dress code, ornaments, etc. of one community is being accepted by other community, and the customs and traditions of India, though varied, has a binding force in them, which ultimately serves as a unifying factor of secular India. And now we understand that being a multilingual, multiracial and multi-religious society, India has a vast pool of customs and traditions, and the government of India is always preserving and protecting and safeguarding all these pool of customs and traditions, right? And because we are just changing our perspective, because we are becoming all the more modern in our outlook, so there is no barrier in our society right now. We give and take, we share our customs and our traditions, and people have become more tolerant and celebrate most of the festivals, even if they happen to belong to a particular community, caste, creed, or language, or of course a locality. And this is something very, very unique about India, and we have to understand that Indians wholeheartedly join the celebrations, festivals, and the special cultural, traditional aspects of the country. And this is why we say we have unity in diversity. And the very unity in diversity of the country is being hailed in the very national anthem we sing each day. Alright, so this is the great custom and tradition of India, and with this we can just sum up our discussion. And as an Indian, let us all be proud of the customs, languages, rituals, religions and traditions of India. Let us remain united as a single nation, and whichever part of the world we are, whichever part of the country we are, let us remain an Indian, and let us just be open-minded and tolerant and accept everything that is good. So with this, I wind up my discussion on the customs and traditions of India. Thank you so much for listening. May God bless you all. Jai Hind.